Today, we will be diving into how hormones affect a female's menstrual cycle. If that's what you want to watch, make sure you subscribe. You know, hormones are everything when it comes to the menstrual cycle. It's like a perfectly timed and sometimes chaotic symphony of chemical signals that controls ovulation, bleeding, and everything in between. There are four key hormones involved in this process. We have a follicle-stimulating hormone that is made in the pituitary gland, which is found in the brain, and its main job is to stimulate the growth of the follicle in the ovary. Remember, each ovary holds one egg. Secondly, we have a luteinizing hormone that is also made in the pituitary gland, and it triggers ovulation. What is ovulation, you may ask? Ovulation is the release of an egg from an ovary. Thirdly, we have estrogen that is made in the ovaries. Its main job is to thicken the uterine lining to prepare for possible pregnancy. Lastly, we have what is called progesterone. Progesterone is made in the corpus luteum. What is the corpus luteum, you may ask? You know this thing that is left of a follicle after ovulation has occurred? That is what we call a corpus luteum. The main job of a progesterone is to maintain the uterine lining. If no pregnancy has occurred, then the progesterone will drop, triggering your period as a female. Let us now talk about the four phases of the menstrual cycle. We have day 1 to 5, which is the menstrual phase. Alright, now here is where the period starts. When your period starts, the uterine lining starts to shed, okay? The estrogen and progesterone levels are low and your brain starts releasing follicle stimulating hormone to get the new follicles ready. A follicular phase that occurs between day 1 and 13 overlaps with the female's period at the start. When the follicle stimulating hormone is released, follicles start to grow and the estrogen level rises. With rising estrogen level, the uterine lining builds back up. Around day 14, we have what is called ovulation that is taking place. At this phase, an ovary releases a very mature egg. Estrogen peaks right before this, and this is what is known as the fertile window. Lastly, we have the luteal phase, which is around day 15 and day 28. So what happens is that after ovulation, the ruptured follicle, which is also known as the corpus luteum, starts to produce progesterone. If no pregnancy, then progesterone levels drops, lining sheds, and then you go back to day 1. That is it for today. I hope you have learned an insightful lesson about the female's menstrual cycle and the phases that are involved. Now, in a short summary, let me brief you. The menstrual cycle is divided into 4 phases, which is the menstrual, follicular, ovulation, and luteal phases. The cycle begins with the menstrual cycle, during which the uterine lining is shed due to low levels of estrogen and progesterone. At the same time, the follicular phase starts, where follicle-stimulating hormone stimulates the growth of the ovarian follicle and rising estrogen helps rebuild the uterine lining. Around the middle of the cycle, the ovulation phase occurs when a surge in the luteinizing hormone triggers the release of a mature egg from the ovary, marking the fertile time. Now following this is the luteal phase, whereby the empty follicle becomes the corpus luteum and produces progesterone to maintain the uterine lining. If fertilization doesn't occur, then progesterone levels will drop, leading to the start of a new cycle with menstruation. That is it, fellows.